I want a police that won't harass or arrest me for no just reason.
I want to be valued for my work, not feared by honest people.
I want a police that won't ask me anything for the boys.
I want a decent salary that is paid on time.
If it happens with good laws,
Proper funding,
training,
And cooperation.
if it happens,
if it happens.
If it happens.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And month never even reach safe. Na salary play you. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
If it happen.
With good laws
proper funding,
Training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
Welcome back. It's the first segment of the program, and joining me this morning is the presiding bishop of the worldwide mission. I did say eternity mission, but it was an error on my part. Thank God it's a mission. The Worldwide Mission Incorporated is situated at number 41 Mission Road off Nukot, Ikdoro Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. And the presiding bishop, Apostle Dr. Imoyire, is my studio guest this morning. Good morning, man of God.
Good morning, sir.
How is ministry?
We thank God the Lord is helping us.
There's something I'm seeing. You keep growing younger every day. What's the secret? The last time we met, almost 10 years ago, you look older than this.
Yes. And the next 10 years I'll be younger than this.
What's the secret?
Those who dwell in the secret place of the Most High is under the shadow of the Almighty. The shadow of the Lord.
Yes. Okay. No, honestly, I'm impressed because we keep losing men of God, but I'm happy that there's health and that there is strength to keep doing the work. Okay. You just come up with a vision called the newly called People's Forum.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So, what is it about?
This vision had been there for years ago, but because of my densely busy programs I've had lots to do in the vineyard, I dropped them over 23 years ago, 24. But the Lord really burdened my mind to pick it back because it has to do with the authority in the ministry. The newly called People's Forum is purely God's burden in my mind and sacrifice for a generation. Any driver who sits on the steering, loading the passenger to travel out without knowing what to do will kill all the people. The Bible in the pulpit is a dangerous ministry that has destroyed many souls into hell, caused a lot of havoc in the society. So this is all about the ministry. We're going to let the people know who is called by God and who is called by other things. How to begin, where to begin, when to begin, why to begin, and where to begin. There are a lot of things on ground that will be taught. We are going to check. There are 3 things that proves the call universally. Any Bible college you go, any seminary without mentioning these 3 things, is not a good one. There are 3 things that are taste of a true call by God, calling by God. And after that, we'll find out his experiences, who he is in the church, where he's born again, a lot of things. There's some precepts to follow to avoid spiritual accident of the way. A lot of people break out ministries. A lot of people come to the pulpit and preach every nonsense they want to preach. Tell people every idiot that's not the Bible. By the grace of God, we are going to tell the people the way to go. I've been in this way for long by the grace of God. I can lead people to where I'm going. We are making this to produce the next generation ministers. Shortly, most of us will be going back to the Lord who is taking over. This is the vital matter of this program. So in this program, we're going to tell the people ABCD about ministry, how to begin, how to do everything, especially mentorship and followership, discipleship, very important.
Okay, you call it a newly called People's Forum.
Yes.
What about those who were called in the old?
It's okay. Most of them have known what to do. Most of them know the way. But the danger here is that the newly called people, if he or she fails to follow the already mastered minister, he will do nonsense. The precept is to follow somebody. Jesus told the disciples in Matthew 4:19, follow me, I'll make you. The process of the following produces the making.
Okay, Apostle Dr. Jesus also said that if the blind leads the blind,
exactly,
they will fall
exactly, sir,
into a ditch.
Exactly, sir.
There are so many persons who have experiences, they have mastered, but yet under wrong doctrines.
Yes, sir.
And they also see themselves as good, because I know that Pharisees and Sadducees, who were masters of the law, they couldn't even recognize Jesus when he came.
They were blind.
So how would one determine who is in the right direction?
Very simple. The Bible says 2 things. John 8:32. If you know the truth, it shall set you free. Truth sets free.
Okay.
Our criteria you cannot dispose. 2. Matthew 7:16. By their fruit you shall know them. People's intention are taste of what are in ministry. They can shout, they can make noise, they can worship 20 times. That's what they're looking for, not eternity.
Okay. Now, you said something about truth.
Yes, sir.
And I know that falsehood held on for a very long time,
yes, sir,
can eventually become a false truth.
And to the blind. To
the blind?
Yes, to the fools.
Tell us about the blind.
Yeah, the blinds are those who had the wrong foundation of the gospel. You know, the Bible in Psalms 11:3 says, when the foundations are being destroyed, what can you do while building on it? The matter I'm looking for the people is that by the grace of God, I know the vital truth. The truth I can speak to the clue back if you can't deny what I tell you. If you deny, you don't know the truth.
Okay.
That's what I want to live in my days.
Okay. So now, you run a ministry called the Worldwide Mission Incorporated, and you're inviting people who are qualified to join this.
This is an important question. This is not evangelism program, but if anybody comes, God can touch. Now, this is mainly for those who have symptoms and signs of calling into the ministry, those with zeal to serve, terrible dreams, a lot of things, and those who want to start it wrongly, they're without direction. These are the people who are focusing on the ministry works, who aims at. It could be aged in age, but young in experience. We need all of them.
Okay, Apostle, let's talk. You said something about calling. At what point is someone called?
Well, callings are 3 in the Bible.
Okay.
Matthew 11:28-30. Come unto me, all you labor and heavy laden. Abi?
I'll give you rest.
Yeah, that's a salvational calling. Number 2, calling for service is Matthew 4:19. Follow me, I will make you. Amen. The third calling is Philippians 3:14. Paul says he's pressing towards a high calling of the Lord. Such a calling that Isaiah was a prophet. What I'm saying is not known by a lot of people. Isaiah was a prophet already. Before the Lord stood in front of them and said, whom will I send and who will go for us? While he was a prophet already. God wanted to use Isaiah for another higher ministry. That was evangelistic ministry, to talk about the birth of the Savior. Those are the 3 kinds of callings in the world.
Okay, so are you saying there are 3 kinds of calling or 3 stages? Because the way you have explained, what I understand is all ye that labor and heavy laden are salvation. Follow me, I will make you. That's discipleship. And then Philippians 3:19 is ministry. It's ministry. So is it not the person who is called that is a disciple
stages,
that becomes
stages? It all depends on the vocabulary you're using.
Okay. Right. So now, are you why I asked that question is you said that this is not an evangelism ministry, rather.
For sinners around be saved. But those who had the experience.
So do you include church workers here?
Yes.
Talk to us about the categories, the number of people you are.
Because most of the church workers have embedded callings because of their zeal for the work, and fallibility. These are really marks of called people. We need them. At the end of this teaching, they will ask their questions. At the end, the Spirit of the Lord will cause them to know. They will be fast to attest of their calling, and they will accept it. We need church workers who are zealous for the Lord.
I have seen that the date is 1st July.
Yes,
that's
sir.
Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Why one day? How do you intend to imbibe? Jesus trained for 3.5 years, and even at that, Peter still denied him before this coming of the Holy Spirit.
Yes,
how will one day carry out, be able to make the impact?
Even Jesus at 12 for 3.5 years started in a day. He started in a day.
Okay, so this
God started the creation in a day before the subsequent ones. We want to see the response. We want to see the people's taste for it. There's going to be several seminars, schools, and a lot of things for them.
Okay, so will there be a breakaway session?
No. We'll start by 9, we'll end by 3, 4. We will have a paper to present. It's interactive.
Okay.
What I call teaching is not a lecture. Interactive. You will ask a question, you answer me, you tell me your experience. I ask you a question, you ask me, we flow through.
Okay, so one who have been invited. Have you been able to? Because I would have thought that this should also involve CAN, PFN, and the church in general.
May not be necessary. I'm a member of all of them.
Okay.
I'm a father in all of them. This is not a CAN PFN thing. It's an individual. PFN don't call, CAN don't call. Whoever feels called should come and get the light. Go back to his ministry and shine.
Okay.
But the current people, if they hear this, they can send their members in.
Now, Apostle, you know, there's so much competition in ministry. There's so much people. You do this, and the next moment they think that you are trying to draw members from their church so that they will now come and be your mentees. How do you handle this competition?
Okay, sir. To me, it's a sign of immaturity and foolishness. I compliment people's graces in ministry. I don't compete, because graces are different. More so, the Bible says in Luke 12:48, as many as much are given, much shall be required. The more number of members you get and get their monies, the more answer you will answer to God in the day of judgment. So I don't need all the members in the world. I need the number of people who will be able to tell God at the end of my life and affect their life for good. I don't even go into that. When I see people do that, I know that I've misfired. They don't know the way. You are not the honor of the people. It is God.
Okay, so Saturday is 1st July. Lead us into what will happen that day. You said that a lot of people will gather.
Yes.
And what will happen?
Yes. In the morning, we shall come in for prayers, self-dedication, praises to the Lord, registration of names without money, and then introduction of the people, introduction of the program.
Okay.
Then we shall get into the real time, interactive moment with the annals in their hands. The annal is a valuable one. It's a good one. It's a good one.
Okay. So one who are speaking.
No, I am speaking.
You are the teacher of the day.
Teacher, yes.
Okay.
I don't need people like that.
Okay.
If anybody will train this, will give the lecture, I have to train that person. Okay. It's a personal vision, so that you don't drop dead in a clean water.
You don't drop dead in a clean water. Yes. 1st of July, a one-day seminar that is going to answer your questions and also guide you into God's purpose for your life. This is organized by Apostle Dr. and Reverend Mrs. Imoira of the Worldwide Mission Incorporated. Now, Apostle, maybe this is an open forum for you to invite as many as possible persons. Go ahead.
Thank you, sir. I'm calling the young men, especially in tertiary institutions, because the Lord has a lot in different campuses. I'm talking to the young men in different churches, irrespective of name of denomination. I'm talking to those who have special dealings with God in the night, in the day. They still cannot understand. The people that are called pastors without knowing. Some people say, I don't answer. The Lord has not called me. The Lord has not called with microphone. He doesn't call with microphone. He calls in the heart. Romans 1:19 says, that which pertains to the Lord is revealed in the heart. As you come in, the teaching shall be able to convict, to attest, to witness that you are that person. Then when we know that you are that person, another meeting will come for those set of people. Then we show them how to stand, how to go. Okay, so
assuming somebody who's watching you now and wants to call you to register in advance, is there any number you want to leave behind?
Yes.
Go ahead, sir.
080
080
38
38
04
04
94
94
23.
Can we take it again? 080
38
38
04
04
94
94
23.
Okay, so you can just start calling Apostle Dr. Ime Uyire, the convener of the newly called People's Forum. And the maiden edition is on the 1st of July, that's Saturday, the day after tomorrow, at number 41 Mission Road off Norcott, Idoro Road.
You see a signboard there, Mission Road.
Mission Road, okay. Once you enter,
yes,
you just see that, it lands you at Mission.
Rose Hill Schools.
Okay.
Big board on the road straight.
Okay. Apostle Dr. Uyire, thank you very much for coming. I'll see you on Saturday to come and carry out and see whatever proceedings will happen in that place. Thank you. Okay, so we leave it here. the NIPR people, a detachment from the NIPR, will be here up next for an engaging session. Stay tuned.
Thank you, sir.
This is home, where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's only matter we know, because stand together we go make up the time. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. When you come in, it's all about you know. No matter where we stay, we are one. Let's live together in peace and harmony.
I just want your papers, please.
Sir.
Salary don't enter. Yes, so. And month never even reach safe. Na salary plenty, oh. No wonder I no gree collect Roger from my hand. Shut up, sir. I'm here to bail my younger brother.
Happen.
With good laws,
Proper funding, training,
and cooperation.
if it happen.
Good morning. Another privilege to be here on a Thursday morning to inspire and to motivate you. I believe you still remember our philosophy that irrespective of what we know, there are still mountains of knowledge to climb. This morning I came with words to incite you and to give you a mental shift, and I'll be talking on what I tagged the wealthy man's sixth sense. The wealthy man, sixth sense. Everybody has five senses, but the wealthy man have the sixth. Beyond the senses of the sight, the senses of taste, the sense of feeling, the sense of smell, and the sense of, did I say feeling? Breath. All right, that's the fifth. The breath, the feeling, the taste, the smell, and that of the sight. The wealthy man do have the sixth. And number one, the wealthy man have the sense of no shame. Every white collar job has a corner start. It is revealing that the pathway to industrial glory begins from domestic shame. If you are too big to start small, then you are too small to aim big. The wealthy man understand the place of starting small, that for you to become a star, then first of all you must start. And I say that every white collar job has a corner start. Whatever you are seeing today that is glorious started small, and the wealthy man understand that for he or she to become great, then he must start small. Can I say this, that the wealthy man is not ashamed to start without a name, because we arrived this world without a name. The wealthy man would not wait to be known before he start, but the wealthy man start to be known. The wealthy man sixth sense. And what else do you have to know about the wealthy man? The wealthy man understand that gold has its root from the dust. Trees grows from the dust. Cities are built from the dust. Now, if you look at the word industry, the word industry means try in the dust. If you bring it to the reverse side, trying in the dust, starting from the dust. In dust, you try. What else? The wealthy man knows that to become great, he or she must start in shame. The next one is that the wealthy man have the sense of creativity. The sense of creativity, talking about innovation, talking about uniqueness, bringing solution in any environment. Now, you look at everybody that is great as of today, they are actually solving a problem. They are filling a niche in their environment. Mention names, the Dangote, the Denuga, mention names, they are all solving problem in their environment. And for you to become great, then you have to identify that problem around you, and you solve that problem. You can't do the normal business and become great, the normal business of buying and selling. You just have to discover a problem in your environment. Maybe there's this service you just have to render to people that are having a problem along that line, or maybe there is a product that you need to bring to an environment. Look at the telecommunication. In some years past, it wasn't this great, but today somebody brought that in and the person is actually cashing out. That talks about creativity. The wealthy man has the sense beyond starting small. The wealthy man also have the sense of creativity. The next one is that the wealthy man has a sense of diversity. The wealthy man understands that wealth is not just lack of provision, but poverty is not lack of provision, but lack of multiplication. Now, for you to become wealthy, you must move from selling good to goods, and from selling just a line of product. You just have to think of how to multiply what you are doing. You are not selling the vessel of singularity. You are actually selling on multiple vessels. The wealthy man understand that beyond knocking one door, they are knocking many doors. You are selling through a particular vessel. You have just one skill. You say, no, let me think of the next. Somebody have been in this photography business, snapping pictures, traveling, going from wedding to wedding, burial to burial, and the guy said, no, let me just go pick up another skill. Maybe if I can't, I don't have the opportunity, or there are no events for me to take pictures, I can do painting. The wealthy man, beyond selling on the platform of singularity, they are actually applying multiple vessels, multiple streams of income. You are doing one line of business, you are limited. You just have to apply the next line. Like I said, from good, you are now selling goods, and from service, you are offering services. The next one is that the wealthy man has the sense of frugality. The sense of frugality. This is very instructive. What are you doing with iPhone or 500,000 when you don't have a business? You don't have a business that is actually funding, or that does not require you to handle such a phone. All the ashebis every weekend you are attending. Sense of frugality. This is very instructive. You are living life above your level per time. The wealthy man, look at the way they dress. Those of you, the guy called Mark Zuckerberg, you see him with just a polo, the short knicker. He has all the money. And somebody with just 10 million in his account, you see him or her with 5 police officers, somebody is holding his umbrella, he's walking as if he owns the whole world. The wealthy man, they have this sense of frugality. They don't have cars, maybe 1 or 2. Theirs is just they have more of asset than liability. The wealthy man, they understand this very well. Or they invest money in business, not just putting money in account. Whatever money they have, you see them doing business here and there. How dare you wear perfume of 12,000-15,000 as a student? Somebody is giving you pocket money of 20,000 and you are there buying perfume 12,000. The wealthy man, they don't have such sense. They have the sense of frugality. They understand that money is not meant money is meant to be invested. So what are they going to do with money? More of investment. They buy more of asset and not liability. They don't flow with the train. They don't train with the train, and they don't flow with the flow. They are frugal. They understand that money must be their errand boy. Money go and bring no money. You buy a phone of 550,000 and there's no business anywhere, and you are loading that phone like 100,000 a month, and you are not doing anything. Come on. That's a sense of the poor man, sense of poverty, not the wealthy man kind of sense. The wealthy man has the sense of value. Number 5, I said they have 6 sense. The sense of value. I said earlier that value brings volume of money. As a matter of fact, as you are offering value, volume of money, they are actually rushing into your account. Value generates volume. Value brings attention. Value brings referrals. Value brings profitability. Anything you are doing in this life, ensure that you are offering value. Once you are offering value, then volume of money, volume of referrals, volume of profit and attention will be directed towards whatever you are doing. So whatever you are doing, maybe you are in business, maybe you are working in one office, ensure that you are offering value if you want to become wealthy, if you want to be great. In the midst of so many, the person that is offering value will generate volume that will bring money. And what else? The sense of possibility. The sense of possibility. They believe they have this different thought pattern. You tell a poor man to start business, they will tell you they don't have the finances. You tell them start small, they say the profit is too little. You tell them start big, they will tell you the capital is not available. They have this backward mindset. And in closing, I will say here that wealth is not having enough of financial substance, but you must have financial systems. Wealth does not lie in possessing, but it lies in processing. That's the size of that which I have for you this morning. Hope to talk to you another Thursday. Ensure that you are not just having possession, but you are not just possessing, but you are actually processing something. That is how to become wealthy, and that is how to become great. Remember, this is our philosophy, that irrespective of what you know, there are still mountains of knowledge to climb. I remain Sam Inspiration. Thank you, and God bless you. Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and or write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
This is home, where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It is something that you know. Because stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. When you come, you know, it's all about you know. No matter where we day, we are one. Let's
morning. I am delighted to play host to you on this special segment, the Public Relations Festival, on the program Focus. My name is Mercy David. This begins the 3 weeks media campaign of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, AKBC, on the World Public Relations Day, which will be observed globally on Sunday, 16th July 2023. Today, we have a guest to interact with. He is a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR. He is a seasoned journalist and media consultant. He served Akwa Ibom State as the Chief Press Secretary and Director of Press Affairs to the Deputy Governor, where he designed and implemented public relations, media, and public plans and strategies in 1999 through 2005. He equally assisted in managing public relations and media for the governor in 2008 through 2011 as the special assistant to the governor media. Our guest on June 1, 2011 through May 29, 2015 served as the Chief Press Secretary and Senior Special Assistant to the governor media, still in the business of managing public relations and media. In that position, he oversaw and coordinated every public relations activity in Government House. We can conveniently refer to our guest as a PR expert or professional. He is the person who administers and manages the operations of the radio and television services of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, AKBC. Join me to welcome Dr. Anietu Ukpe, FNIPR, to the program. It's good to have you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, we are looking at the World Public Relations Day, and you're a professional. You're equally a fellow of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, and we are here to interact with you. So how do you explain what public relations is to someone who has no knowledge about it?
Thank you so very much for having me. Public relations is simply the practice of managing and disseminating information from an individual organization to the public in such a way as to influence the perception of the public, the perception of the person or organization. It is a management function which seeks to create goodwill through strategic communication with the different publics that an organization deals with. And so, simply speaking, it is about perception management. It is about strategically communicating to manage how people see you, how members of the public see you, and how you relate with your different publics.
Okay, sir, so in the corporate organization, what's public relations role?
The public relations in a public in a public corporation, in an organization, the major role of public relations is to manage the perception of management and the organization in terms of how it relates with the different publics, managing the perception of these different publics of management. You take the approach of using press releases, creating a strong brand, and also undertaking goodwill gestures and ensuring that communication lines are open for effective feedback. If all these are put in place and more, then the organization comes out clearly understood by the publics it deals with, and that helps the organization to succeed in its business, in meeting set objectives.
Okay, so globally, the World Public Relations Day will be celebrated on the 16th of July 2023. What is the essence of this celebration? Activities have started already, we have learned. So what's the essence of this celebration?
Well, the important thing is that PR performs a very important role in today's world. The world has become a global village, and what happens in one part of the world affects events in the other part of the world.
and therefore the need for effective public relations cannot be overstressed. Most of the competition before used to be local. Companies in Akwa Ibom would compete with other companies in Akwa Ibom. It doesn't work that way anymore, because right now I can choose to buy from the international market. I can go online and choose to buy from the international market. And so if you are producing in Akwa Ibom, it does not follow that I'm going to buy from you. And so how do you use PR to ensure that you capture the Akwa Ibom market? And therefore the role of populations has changed from how it was when it was started at the turn of the century, of the last century, and now a lot of water has passed under the bridge. And so it is important to celebrate public relations on a global scale, to draw global attention to public relations, and to ensure that public relations is given its due place in the lives of organizations. To do this, they have to be set aside for companies, individuals, to have a rethink and to, more like create time to think about populations and how to use populations for maximum effect.
Okay, so you've just talked about using public relations to attract people to your brand. What's the difference between advertising and public relations?
Well, advertising is about selling a product or service. Public relations is about creating goodwill and managing perception. There are two very different things. In advertising, you advertise a product, you advertise services. Public relations is not about publicizing a product or service. It is about strategic communication to manage perception.
Okay, all right, sir. Now let's look at the theme for this year's World Public Relations Day, harnessing the power of public relations. What's embedded in this theme?
Well, it simply means that we should look more at how we can engage public relations given the dynamics of the society as at now. How do we leverage on ICT? How do we use ICT to expand the boundaries of public relations? And every day new things are coming up. Before, in the 80s, you did not talk about social media. Now you have social media. You did not talk about the internet. And many more social media platforms are being invented. Before, we never had TikTok. Now we have TikTok and so many others. So how do you harness the limitless possibilities of public relations and put them to use in your situation to ensure that you create the desired goodwill for your corporation or your company, not only within where you are, but globally? That's why we need to harness the power of public relations.
Okay, so you mentioned some minutes ago that press releases and other write-ups can be used in public relations to reach out to different publics. But then what are other ways media organizations can use to interact with their different publics?
There are so many ways. You can use, like I said, press releases. You can issue press statements. You can also reach out informally to the press community. You can reach out to labor unions, professional bodies and all that. What you can do with public relations can only be limited by your imagination. But for so long as you allow your imagination to look beyond where you are, think out of the box, then the possibilities are endless.
Okay, you are heading a media organization, precisely Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, AKBC. How functional is the public relations section in your organization?
Are you fishing for compliments? Well, as a matter of fact, when I arrived at Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation in 2015, we did not have a public relations department, or a public relations unit. I considered it important because for us to manage perception, we needed to have a unit devoted to the task. And so we set up the populations unit, and first led by Mr. Eddie Ekwenyong. After I moved on, the late Nyong Ekwere, and currently by your good self. And it has helped us greatly in presenting a new face of AKBC to the Akwa Ibom community and to the larger community beyond Akwa Ibom State. So I think we are doing well in terms of PR in Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation.
Thank you. Activities have started already, which will climax actually on Sunday, 16th of July 2023, for the World Public Relations Day. May we know some of the activities your organization will be embarking on to mark this day, sir?
Well, I think we rather keep that on the wraps, because Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation is not a public relations company. We are simply using publications as an aspect of our work. I don't want to box myself into a corner, because if
because we'll hold you to it.
Not only hold me to it, but if Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation now decides to publicly say this is what we intend to do. When it comes to World Accounting Day, the accountants in the KBC would also want us to roll out plans for them. When it comes to World Secretaries Day, so let's see, AKBC is definitely going to be involved in this, but we are not going to do it in such a way that we box ourselves into a corner and not be able to meet the needs of the other professionals in AKBC who may also want the same thing done when the day of their professions, or if their professions have days.
Okay, I would have loved to push, but I'll limit it to what you've said, because public relations is not like other bodies. This one is like, it's the strategy you're going to use to attract your clients. But let me allow you there. Now, as a fellow, and you have paid your dues in public relations, what are the areas you have noticed that haven't really been harnessed in public relations, especially in Akwa Ibom State?
Well, importantly, I think that we need to do more work as public relations persons in Akwa Ibom State is to let those in government understand the need to use public relations more, to explain their offices to the ordinary people in the state. Like if you are occupying, if you are a local government chairman, you should not take it for granted that people in your local government understand what you're doing. You should seek out time, create like safe rooms, be able to bring people from the local government together for a town hall meeting. Let them talk about their aspirations, what they want, and all that. You should also reach out to the traditional institution, see how you can also tap into whatsoever they may think you should do, how you can understand them better and they can understand you better. The problem is that if people don't understand you, they will tell stories about you. That is why we say that publications is about storytelling. If you don't tell your story, some other person will tell your story. And so it's better for you to tell your story yourself. If you tell your story yourself, you'll be better understood, and misunderstanding will be checkmated.
Okay, so let's go back to your fellowship in NIPR. You had been a member for quite some time, and then you had been contributing in different ways. But I think a year ago you were inducted as a fellow, and you were given a gown for keeps. So what is expected of you now as a fellow for this, in this your higher calling?
like they say, the hood does not make the monk. It is the monk that makes the hood. And so before I became a fellow, I had already acquired the requisite knowledge, which I believe compelled my being given the gown and the title of fellow. What that imposes on me, because like the Bible says, too much is given, much is expected, is to see how I can team up with relevant partners in the Nigeria Institute of Populations to do more in terms of PR in Akwa Ibom State. Unfortunately, we do not have as many fellows in Akwa Ibom as we should have. There are so many of our people, our practitioners, who are eminently qualified for fellowship. And I appreciate that the current state chairman is doing a lot in that direction to ensure that we have a due place in the orbit of public relations. I'm trying to see how one can have more conversations about PR and what we could do to let PR become a key part of processes, not only in government, but in the private sector in Akwa Ibom State.
Okay, you have brought in that, and I would have asked you what you feel can be do more to achieve success in the profession, but I think we'll let you be, so that we'll now ask the chairman, since you have mentioned his name. The chairman will have to come and tell us what his chapter is planning to have achieved more, especially in the area of quackery. And so, as public relations professional sharing different activities marking the World Public Relations Day, which will climax on Sunday, the 16th of July 2023, what should they hold to heart?
That public relations is doing well, that the practice is thriving. We've come very far from where we started, but we are still some distance from where we ought to be, and therefore we need to do more together. We need to think more. We need to spend more time to see how we can partner with the government, and His Excellency the Governor, Pastor Omanu, has already made it plain and clear that he wants all Akwa Ibom people to team up with him to build the Akwa Ibom of our dreams, and to have the golden era in Akwa Ibom. And therefore it behoves us to become strategic partners with His Excellency to ensure that we have in Akwa Ibom State the best possible understanding of government, getting Akwa Ibom people and the government to be in tandem, to work together to reach greater heights.
Okay, sir, it's been enlightening talking with you. On a final note, sir, on the 16th day of July 2015, you assumed the office of the Director General of Akwa Ibom Broadcasting Corporation, AKBC. And the World Public Relations Day is on the 16th of July 2023. Anyway, every 16th day of July. No, I don't know if this is a coincidence or if it's divine planned, but in the spirit of your work anniversary, my question is, which group of your publics would you directly want to interact with on that day?
Are you not trying to put me in a spot?
Sir, I didn't plan this date.
I have too many sites to think of which one I would want to spend my time on. But the first question was whether it was a coincidence or a divine plan. I would think it was a divine plan, because the Bible says that the footsteps of the righteous are ordered by God. But having said that, on that day, I'll think about it. But if I were to devise something, I would want to gather people together who want to learn and then see how we can have a conversation, how we can have a round table on public relations, and how we can learn from each other. Because I believe in learning. I believe that every person is a storehouse of knowledge, and you can tap into what the person knows and be the better for it. And so that might be what I will do.
Thank you very much, sir. It's been interesting talking with you. And so happy World Public Relations Day in advance, and happy work anniversary in advance, sir.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
This is our home, where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's all man, you know. We go stand together, we go make them better. We brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. It's all about you know. No matter where we day, we are one. Let's live together in peace and harmony.
The cry of a newborn baby is associated with celebration and merriment by members and well-wishers of the family that baby is born into. From the hospital, the child and mother are conveyed back home in a car. This is where danger starts to loom. Most parents, out of ignorance or excitement, do not know how to transport that child from the hospital. On many occasions, the mother and the child take the front seat, whereas under no circumstance should that child occupy the front seat. And for a driver to be ignorant of such a technical matter is indeed suicidal. Now, how many parents are aware that there is a safety contraption called child safety seat? For those who know, how many use it and correctly? Child safety seats can reduce the risk of a potentially fatal injury substantially for babies in particular, and also for toddlers. But because many safety seats are used incorrectly when choosing a car seat, keep some important guidelines in mind. The best car seat is not always the most expensive. It is the one that best fits a child's weight, size, and age, as well as your vehicle. As a parent, you should know the different stages and positions you can carry your children in the car. If unfortunately you don't, here are some tips on the stages involved. At birth to age 2, infants and children should be buckled properly in a car seat, which can easily be adjusted to fit the sizes until age 2, or when the child reaches the upper weight or height limit of the particular seats. Check the seat's owner's manual or labels on the seat weight and height limit. Age 2 to 5. Use a different car seat that fits the size and height of the child until the child reaches the upper weight or height. Age 5 to 12. Ensure that children are kept at the back of the car, where older ones sit at the right and left-hand side, as the case may be, while younger ones are to sit in the middle in a situation where the children are more than 2. Seat belts should be buckled tightly in the case where younger children are involved. Remember to keep children properly buckled at the back seat for the best possible result. Children below 12 years of age are safe at the back seat of the car, not in front. Only children from 12 years of age can sit in front of the car. Do not sit children in front of an airbag. Airbags can kill younger children riding in front seat. And never place a child car seat in front of an airbag. Parents and caregivers should set a good example by always using seat belts themselves. The joy, excitement, and merriment of parents at childbirth cannot be truncated by the same parents who do not observe simple child safety measures. That child in the car must be protected by you.
The day you stop learning, the Englishman said that you start dying that day. I've learned something from the motivational speaker this morning, that you have to go down to come up. And he was talking about industry, and he began to separate the words in and dust. That means you need to go down, have the shame and everything for you to begin to thrive in life. So don't be ashamed even when you fail. Even when you fail, do not be ashamed, because shame is part of the business. It's part of the roadmap to success. My name is Bright Solution Uno, and I welcome you to the press on Thursday this morning. And I have with me in the studio this morning just one personality that will take us there into the national scene. I'm talking about Comrade Udeme. Udeme, how are you this morning?
Bright, I'm fine. Good morning.
You're fine. It's been long you've not been here. Okay. Is it because of fuel?
Well, we're overcoming this. Fuel issue in Nigeria has become a kind of a household talk where even the child notice it. So I believe that with seriousness in government and sincerity, Nigerians will overcome this.
Okay, I listened to a sister radio station where I was coming, and they were talking about the government telling the masses to take the pains just for a moment, knowing that things will normalize. And someone asked, why don't they also take the pains while the masses also sit on the other side to wait and see how things change? Saying that, let's go straight to the Punch this morning, and we have on the banner headline of the Punch is Salah, current pains necessary, says Tinubu. Governors preach unity. With the rider, President assures Nigerian of better days. PDP lambast APC. Another writer says governor demands peaceful coexistence as Muslims celebrate Salah. Up there we have marketers project 700 per liter petrol. Also on the Punch, 120 billion US dollars debt won't be cancelled. Telcos tells bank. Nigeria's digital infrastructure inadequate for cashless economy, says the World Bank. Down there we have a contrast scam. NDDC denies 56 million euro contract award to Italian firm. Power drunk, sad 1 year. Soldier shoot 2 youths death in Edo community. Ladojas rejects Makinday's planned elevation of high chief. Let's start with the current pains necessary, says Tinubu. Governor preaches unity in Salah. The current pains.
It is not necessary. If you ask me,
yeah.
If you ask me as a person, if you ask me as a Nigerian, as an individual.
Someone said this morning that was what the former government told us for 8 years, and we endure with them, thinking that it would be fine either before the living government. But now another government comes, and they are starting by telling us to endure the current pains.
Right. I continue to say this in any platform I find myself to speak to Nigerians, to speak to Akwa Ibom State. I will take it from the perspective of how I feel as a person, of how I saw and witnessed government being run by some kind of insincere leaders. Right. It is only Nigeria and some African countries where you see people who are in position of authority doing that, as if they are doing the people they intend to govern a favor. It's not favor. You ask for a job, they give it to you. So position of authority is not for you to go and aggrandize yourself as in terms of making money, making wealth for yourself. It's for you to serve the people. Government at elementary level, as we were taught, is the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. And the primary aim of every government, apart from protecting lives and property of the people, the next important aim and goal of a leader or a government is for welfare of the people. So any government that has failed to provide welfare to the people, that is a failed government. We've been seeing this in Nigeria for quite a long time. You just talked about the last administration of His Excellency Muhammadu Buhari. And today we're having that same party giving us a president, giving Nigerians a president in the person of Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and he's telling Nigerians that the pains that we are seeing today is a pain that we should accept. And I said, no, we can accept that. Let's go down memory lane. When the last administration of their party came into power, they came into power with a mantra of not exterminating corruption, at least to reduce it to a barest minimum. We've heard about the last president telling us at the last time of his leaving office that he is amazed at the level of corruption under his watch. And I listened to a paper, I think former spokesperson of Muhammadu Buhari, Garba Shehu, last week, that President Muhammadu Buhari met with Tinubu in Paris, talking about why Buhari government couldn't remove fuel subsidy. And it has amazed me. If you read that story, you will see that the people we vote or elect or select across board, I'm not saying this to the federal government alone, from all the level of government, beginning from the local government to the state to the national, most of them are not sincere. Now, the reason that he could not remove the subsidy was that he wanted his party to win election, that it would have brought more hardship to the people. But it's the government that told us when they were fighting to come into power that subsidy regime was a fraud and there was nothing like subsidy. And also listening to the confession made by former governor of Bauchi State, Issa Yuguda, who was also a chairman of the House Committee of the Oil and Gas in the House of Representatives before he went up to be a governor. He said that he, as a chairman of that committee, find out that subsidy was a monumental fraud perpetrated by the elites, perpetrated by the same people who are supposed to seek to appropriate these funds, that so many marketers that existed were not really marketers, where they swap our crude oil, they swap the crude oil from the shores of Nigeria to wherever they want to refine that crude oil with the amount of money they fuse to get it, and get the money from the federation account. Who approves that money? Is it not the president? Who sits and appropriate that money? Is it not the National Assembly? Now the question is this: even when he confronted the Mr. President, why is this kind of corruption going on? The man now said, I cannot remove it. He now asked why. He now said the cabal within the government sabotaging the common patrimony of all of us. Because when I say all of us, your taxpayer money, my own, and our own, are what you are using. Now Tinubu is coming to tell us as Nigerians that the problem that we are seeing today is endurable. I said no. I will say no. You've come out to pronounce the removal of fuel subsidy. Fine, good and fine. Tinubu must tell Nigerians. He must also tell me as a person where and how is he going to plow in the money that was meant for the subsidy that has been removed by him. How is he going to utilize that money to cushion the effects of the hardship in Nigeria? Nigeria as a country and a citizen has been strangulated for a very long time. And see, it is time for the leaders, for the followership to buckle their belts, to ask the leadership pertinent question when the need arises within the ambit of the law. We should not allow them, the people in authority, to do to us as if they are doing favor to us. We should ask them question, most especially when we are abreast with what their manifesto were, and when they deviate, we should be able to ask them question. In my own opinion, I've heard governments at the federal level talking about palliatives, and I've also read from the paper yesterday that World Bank is saying that about 101 million Nigerians are very poor. And I ask myself a question: how do they come about this data? How do they come about this figure, even when as a country we do not have a specific data that can be verified? We do not have it. We are alleging that we are more than 250 million in Nigeria. That the question that we should ask ourselves, among this percentage of people in this country, how many of us are workers? How many of us are feeding from informal sector of the economy? And how many of us are feeding from the formal sector of the economy? So when you want to do that palliative, what are the set of people that are dealing out these palliatives to? This is a monumental fraud perpetrated by the people who are supposed to sit down and utilize our resources. So to me, the suffering in Nigeria today is not something that should be welcome. The citizens should get ready to ask the people in authority sensitive questions about their welfare.
Okay, sensitive questions about their welfare. Maybe the current government will be preparing to give us a survival certificate like the former one because of endurance of pains. We learned that was it last week? Dangote's refinery will be commencing production by the month of, is it July or August? And I read something yesterday that Dangote have been given, if it is true, that Dangote has been awarded as the only marketer that will be the only person that will be importing fuel into the country. And that question will be from the next on the Punch. We have this as one of the items. Marketers project 700 liters, 700 naira per liter petrol. That is the projection by the marketers. And if what we were told of the commitments of the refinery and the importation of fuel again, and now we come with 700 naira per liter, how will this help the citizens?
Right. The question you asked me, and according to what is on the headline, it takes me back to what happened during the last administration. Because the problem we have in this country is not about us upsetting these people as leaders. It's about us asking question. Asking question to know where we were and where we are and where we ought to go to. When you fail to ask all the questions, you would swallow and single whatever these people are giving to you. You see, there was a time in this country where over an humongous amount of about $450 million US was approved by Muhammadu Buhari, the former president of this country, for the renovation and the revamping of our ailing refineries, as I think the Warri Refinery, the Port Harcourt, and the Kaduna Refinery. And they gave us a time frame of 18 months. Before the last slap of that administration, the Minister for State Petroleum, Simi Precious Silva, who is running for the governorship of Bayelsa State, told Nigerians that within 4 months, that those refinery will be put to use. And it was in that same administration that they projected the establishment of modular refineries, most especially within the region of the Niger Delta, where you have the issue of oil theft of our crude oil. But none of those things, seen the light of the day. And today, about 2 months ago or a month ago, the same NNPC Limited, do not forget NNPC Limited, it's not the NPC that we used to know. This is a PPP arrangement, which Nigerians have not been able to ask questions to find out who are the stakeholders in this NNPC Limited. When we had the real NNPC, that your money and our money was meant to build up that structure, we never benefited. Are we going to will you benefit in what you do not have a stake? Nigeria do not ask questions. Now they came up with a price list that do not vary. It was only based on region. We saw the price of a pump price of a fuel in the northern region. We saw the one of the southern region and the western region and even the east. If you check that price list, you will see that there are it doesn't vary. See, it doesn't vary and it doesn't tally. Yeah. Now the question is this: how do they sit down to come up with this price list without telling us, without even considering for the minute number of civil servants? Because if you see, Bright, Nigeria has a very serious problem that we should tackle it headlong as followers. If you talk about this amount of money to buy a liter of fuel, how much is the minimum wage? How many states for now, up till now, that has been able to pay that 30,000 naira minimum wage? Now, subsidy has been removed, and we understand the amount of money that were used in paying subsidy. What is so difficult for a sincere government, for crying out loud, for putting the money that has been removed from subsidy regime to fix our refineries? And you sit down and give only one person the monopoly, the right of being the only person to produce and import fuel to over 250 million Nigerians. Is it not alarming? Is it not a kind of, to me, it's a very high height of nepotism? And this is a refinery that took over about 10 years to put in place. It is alleged that by August that refinery will start production. I am betting you here on a live television that we will go to August and nothing tangible will be seen from that refinery. Are you speaking as a Nigerian? I am speaking as a Nigerian. I am speaking as somebody who is exposed. I am speaking as somebody who is exposed. I am speaking as somebody who have studied these people. And let me also tell you, Bright, this is another way of sabotaging the subsidy money. Because if by August the Dangote refinery does not come up with any production, Nigeria should ask Dangote and Mr. President Tinubu, who is that person importing fuel, and where is the money coming from? Are you subsidizing the money, the price of the importation from wherever the products are being refined? If those questions could not be answered, the president should be held responsible.
Okay, just for those who are watching us and listening to us also, Papa Drunk Soul shoots 2 youths death in Edo. What a calamity. Before we step aside, NDDC denies a 56 million euro contract award to Italian firm.
Issue that headline from the Punch that's talked about the extrajudicial killing. This is something that we should condemn in totality. If you are in power with the gun or with any ammunition to secure the lives and property of the people, you shouldn't use that same. Tomorrow it can happen in Akwa Ibom State, God forbid. Bright, have you moved around the street of Uyo? You see the level of harassment from policemen.
Yeah.
They threaten you with their gun to the extent of taking your phone. General Police saying that is very like a tiger. He wants to devour people. He wants to devour criminals. He should also sit down with the sister agency of security arms of government to talk about issues like this. You cannot take the life of a citizen innocently. The people that their money is being given to you as their salary to protect them, and you are taking their lives. We saw what happened. We saw what happened in Lagos State, where a policeman shot that lawyer, a pregnant woman, and up till now, I have not heard or seen how that issue has been handled. So this should serve as a deterrent. I think I call on the Inspector General of Police and the Ministry of Interior and every other agency that has to do with the discipline of these hearing officers should do something about it quickly. The issue of fraud in NDDC. Bright, let me finish. Let me talk about the one that concerns me and concerns you. Very soon, the president will submit the name of ministers, and the minister will be sent to NDDC. And we were shaking when Tinubu was, already retiring people, sending people home, dissolving boards and agency and parasitic government. And NDDC was one board that is supposed to send the MD. He only succeeded in dissolving the board. The MD came back and held a Thanksgiving with the staff. They were jubilating, and then I asked, is this part jubilating because he's serious about to giving back to Nigeria, giving back to the region what he's supposed to get? This is a commission that was established to help us, especially from this region. You see, Bright, if you look around our buildings across this region, you will understand the damage and the degradation caused by exploration of this oil. And now that the Petroleum Act has become a law in Nigeria, you can attest to the fact of what has happened in the Akwa Ibom State with the issue of remapping. Now, where funds that are supposed to go to the common citizens that have been taken by the elites, nothing has been done about that. Look at the amount of money is a siphoning money. That money has been siphoned before you saw it on the headline of the newspaper. And nobody from that ministry, from the board to the MD, and from the staffs working for government that can attest that amount of money has been awarded as a contract for you. Ask the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, sir, Nigeria is a terrible country. We have terrible leaders. The man said, no. We have terrible followership. Followers who do not ask questions. It is only in Nigeria that you see people being so patient, believing that everything that will happen to them, that God will come down and do it. It's not like that. It's not like that. If we want to get out from where we are to where we ought to be, we should begin to ask questions. We should begin to question the authority. They are not doing us favor.
Okay. They are not doing us favor. Before we draw the curtain for this paper analysis, I read on Facebook 2 days ago that police were just on patrol along a bar road and they got a hold of a lady and a brother. All in the reason, why are you running fuel? Why are you running your generator? Because it is believed that anybody who runs generator, maybe in Nigeria of today, there should be a Yahoo person. And that section of the people over there, you can see, if you can see on the front page that the policeman, and then we brought in Father Ejike Mbaka to do the commissioning. That is a good one coming from the police force. Comrade Udeme, thanks for being part of the program. My name remains Bright Solution Honor. ID will be coming, and James will be coming with a guest on the State of the Nation. Please stay tuned. God bless you.
Do you know that you have the right to quality broadcasting? The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and or write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
Welcome back, State of the Nation, and my guest is Patrick Edeke. He's here. Patrick, good morning.
Good morning, Heidi. It's nice to be here.
Yes, you know, we always like dovetailing from the national to the state. A 120 vehicle motorcade. Is that the modern day triumphant entry?
It's absurd that at the point where the country is embroiled or enmeshed in petroleum brouhaha in relation to the price of petrol being at that level, the presidency is showing, in my word, some level of unsatisfactory
braggadocious.
It's not. I mean, what will you do with 100 motorcade?
Who was the person that counted?
You see, when people, whether it's hyperbole or whichever figure of speech that's applicable at this point, it shows that it was uncalled for on too much. Just like saying I have a million friends. You know, it's uncalled for. I have watched over time growing up, because I grew up with the CNN and all whatnot. I've always seen the convoys of the strongest presidents in the world. I mean, I'm talking about the president of the United States. I've seen the convoy. I've seen the Prime Minister of Britain. I've seen even Russia. You know, I've seen their motorcade. I've seen motorcades of the premier, from the Chinese premier. This craziness, for me, I call it craziness, and I must be. This is my opinion. This craziness for me, it's unsatisfactory, and it is appalling and also nauseating to think that at the point where people are crying with the removal of subsidy in Nigeria and the price of petroleum premium spirit, which is petrol, has skyrocketed in such a way that the alarming cost and the debilitating effect of it is being felt by the people that the government is supposed to protect and provide for. If not provide for directly, provide enabling environment for environment for them to thrive, has engaged in such act. It is condemnable.
Okay, Patrick. It's condemnable. I agree with you, but for that's the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
If he has 100 motorcade, okay, let me comparatively. I've seen, I see like the British Prime Minister. It's about 4 or 5 motorcade. Does that stop him from being the British Prime Minister? I've seen the American president, not up to 10 motorcade. Does that stop him from being the American president? I've seen that. Does that stop him? Is the motto, is the issue for me? This is it. Apart from the gridlock, traffic gridlock, that thing is going to cost, which whether you like it or not, it affects productivity. Because if you are on the road to catch up for a meeting that's supposed to have been productive, and you get caught in that motorcade, imagine you having to wait, because definitely all traffic will be shut down till all of them are crossed. Imagine how long you need to wait. Then imagine the mayhem, the traffic mayhem that will occur immediately they finish, because everybody will now feel it is their right of way, because the traffic lights have been stopped, albeit knowing it was not supposed to be stopped. So you understand the kind of mayhem that will happen, which will definitely affect man hours and cost productivity. What kind of government does that make? Is that the essence of being a president? Is that the essence of being president? I saw a video trending the other day on social media. One lady, I think she's from Somalia or Sierra Leone. She's currently in the Netherlands, Holland. And this lady was so excited. She was going to work, and the Prime Minister was walking by her side to his office. The lady was alarmed. She brought out her phone and said, "Wow, this is the Prime Minister of Netherlands."
And they might even allow
her
to do a
because
video.
the man is working. This is the government of the people for the very people, and that is why I have to juxtapose it what is happening in Akwa Ibom State. Somebody met me the other day and said, Patrick, you supported Pastor Moyeno as governor. Why is he breaking protocol and stopping injunctions to talk to people? I say he is no longer the governor of the Hilltop Mansion. He is the governor of the people's mansion,
and he has not even moved in.
And the people must have access to their leader. And the only way the people must have access to a leader is when the leader stops to see the people. Apart from communicating his policies through his aides and whichever other, they must feel their leader. They must see him. He's a human being like them. It's serving them. That's why he presented his scorecard, which were his manifestos. This is what we are looking at. And it is only when he does that he's able to feel the heartbeats of the people and know what is obtainable in the streets, not what the aides give to him or tell him, or what the newspaper or press is reporting. So this is what we're looking at. Leaders that are empathetic, that are empath. Leaders that are sympathetic. Leaders, that's why we're very, very careful when we look for people who have God-driven, divinely driven compassion. Because without compassion and divinely driven compassion, you cannot break protocol to stop and see people.
Okay, but let's get down to Akwa Ibom, since you have brought Akwa Ibom into the issue. On Saturday or thereabout, His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State was at the airport to receive the Senate President, who was in Akwa Ibom for a Thanksgiving and a thank you visit to his constituents. Is that a sign of humility and or collaboration?
One thing we have to understand is, immediately, if you listen to His Excellency the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Moyeno's victory speech, I like to call it victory speech, that's my word, victory speech, he made mention of the fact that this is an Akwa Ibom project. If you look into it, if you look at that speech incisively, where we are going now, it's not a political party project. It is an Akwa Ibom project, and anybody who is of Akwa Ibom descent, whether living in Akwa Ibom or not, that does anything positive that glorifies Akwa Ibom and takes Akwa Ibom from one level to the next level, it is incumbent on Akwa Ibom to bring that person in. That is what is happening. There is no way in this world that Akwa Ibom or any state will be stupid enough, forgive me, will be stupid enough to deny the fact that one of Akwa Ibom's son is the number 3 person in Nigeria. Come on, that is an Akwa Ibom's son. You see, before Pastor Moyeno became the governor, there was so much political polarization in the state. It creates a whole lot of uneasiness within the people. The tension in the polity was something that was unholy and nauseating. It was a puking experience for people like me. And I enjoy the fact that we have somebody who understands reconciliation, who understands what it means to preach peace, who is very divinely humble. You see it in him every time. It is not something that he pretends about. No, that is the person. The humility in him is showing forth, and that's why I found out that even after everything, those of his followers, you see the humility is beginning to trickle down, because leaders are expected to produce their kind.
Okay, that you just I know you just touched a little of the question I wanted to ask. Why did everybody wait for Pastor Moyeno to congratulate Akwa Ibom before it became a bandwagon?
You see, like I said, the leaders must produce their kind. You understand? Yes, leaders must produce their kind. And the body language of the leader tells a lot about the activities of the followers. And that's why we are super excited that we have somebody like Pastor Moyeno as the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Because going forward, if you see his body language, even apart from the personal humility, the way he goes about, this is somebody who goes to work as early as 7:30, 8 o'clock, and not leave the office till 10 o'clock. So it definitely means that when you are appointed as an aide to him, you don't have work hours. That is what it means. So you are ready to work. Because if you recall vividly, he said that it is going to bring the private sector mindset to what?
Governance.
To governance. And in private sector, there is no work hours. The only thing that the only time you close in private sector is when the job is done. You don't close because you are okay. My work hours is 2 o'clock to 3 o'clock. No, and there is the only way he can achieve the aim of demystifying governance. So what he has done for me, it's a leeway. The leaders must, as a matter of reality, crave the pathway for the followers to follow, and he has created that pathway. The pathway is reconciliation, the pathway is humility, the pathway is Akwa Ibom first. So if he takes that step, which is a commendable step from every perspective, everywhere I've gone to, people have said, Patrick, thank you for campaigning for this person, thank you for standing for it. We didn't know that he was like this. We are super excited that we had him at this point, and I tell you, his public perception in the people, his public rating is skyrocketing, because Akwa Ibom were tired of the division. We were tired of the infighting.
Okay, I think, was it Ataikede or Clement Ikpat that set the tone when he publicly, as a critic, as a direct critic, pardon me, I don't know whether it was Clement Ikpat or Ataikede, but one of them wrote a near epignosis on his that he actually underrated and never knew that there was so much in Pastor Omono. It seems we are beginning to see what Ataikede saw before some of us.
Yeah, you see, the thing about knowledge is that it comes to people differently at different times. Some of it comes to you, some get it in the morning, some get it in the afternoon, some get it in the evening. Some are smart enough.
Some even get it late.
Some yeah, those are the evening guys. Then some get it by the brunch. You understand? In between morning and afternoon. For some of us, we got in the morning. We're the first people who understood what this man was about, and then we started talking about it. And then a lot of people were against it. Then I think it's Ataikede. He got his own in brunch. I want to put it between the brunch level, because he now saw it immediately after the whole thing. He now began to see some of the things we were talking about, and then he happened. You see, there is nothing wrong with criticizing the system. There is absolutely nothing wrong with criticizing the system. In fact, criticizing the system puts the system on its toes, because these are what the system needs to look at. It is this criticism. For me, I don't even consider anything destructive or constructive criticism. For me, criticism is criticism, because it means there's something that you feel is not being done properly, and it is my purview to look at those things. And that is why I don't discourage anybody from asking government pertinent questions. You understand? Let me give you an instance. There was so much talked about the pension gratuity issues in Akwa Ibom State. If Pastor Omono had run away from those questions, those things would have existed, and what is being done right now wouldn't have been done. I'm going to tell you this. Just a couple of days ago, about 2 days, was it on Monday? The pension people came in Akwa Ibom State. It has never been harmonized. Now they are going to harmonize it. He has set up a committee, 3-man committee, to harmonize the pension in Akwa Ibom State. It's because people ask questions, and he's a man who does not shy away from responsibility. Are you getting me, sir? Already, the budget body is already working on how to take care of gratuity. It's because people ask questions, and he is a man that does not shy away from responsibility, having that divinely compassion that is in him, being from the ecclesiastical stock. So I'm not against people asking questions. In fact, people should ask questions, because it's when you ask questions you get things done, especially with the kind of leader that we have in Akwa Ibom State. I tell people for free, that man is not a politician, sir. That man is a leader. We are super excited that at this point in Akwa Ibom State, we have a leader who is not crazy about the next election. He's crazy about the next generation, and I'm super excited. So the bickering, the blackmail, the psychophancy doesn't work. He understands steadfastness, because he's somebody who has been rooted in the private sector. So he knows those who are working, he knows those who believe in the project, and he knows how to work so that other people will align with the project, because everybody cannot come at the same time. The word of God says faith cometh by hearing, and this hearing means consistency. The time it will resonate with you might be different from when it will resonate with me, but at the end of it, definitely it's going to resonate.
Okay, let's still get back to the issue of pension. We know that very recently he had a very peaceful resolution with retired permanent secretaries. My question would be, what is he doing differently that previous government, you want me to say the government of Deacon Udom Emmanuel, didn't do to foster a certain level of harmony in the sector, in among the retirees?
First of all, for me, government is a continuum. Yes, there is no government that can sufficiently handle every issue. That's number one. And then number two, the people responsible for a particular thing, a particular affair, the way it's being handled depends on those people's capability and how they see it. You know, it's just like in football. We have different football coaches, but there's a coach or manager you give a particular team to, and it turns it to something different entirely. You give that same manager...
Not Graham Potter.
Like what happened? You know, if you have let me use football for those who watch football so that they understand. If you give a team to a coach like Pep Guardiola, you know what you expect. You're going to expect very good football.
If you don't have good money.
Even if you look at the players in there, let's not deflect. Look at the players in there. They are average players compared to other players in other teams. It's about management. It's about who he is. It's about his ability, capacity, you know, character, competence. That's what we're talking about. It's about the way you put your like I talked about people asking questions and someone not shying away from responsibilities. You know, Pastor Omena is somebody, His Excellency, please. I'm so used to calling him with the Christian.
Yeah, it's good.
Like, yes, Pastor Omena is somebody that understands that his word is his bond. So that's how it worked. It wasn't just about campaign for elections. He spoke with the civil servants during the campaigns and told them, I am going to address these issues when I become the governor of Akwa Ibom State. Give me your vote. It was a charter of the man. They gave him their votes. He is now praying them their confidence, the trust they have in him. He did the same.
I think we can, well, because of time, let's talk about, he has appointed for the first time, is it a special assistant, personal assistant to the governor on people living with disabilities. Is that a good? Is that what Akwa Ibom really yearn for? Because I know that disabled people living with disabilities, physically challenged, have been crying and shouting and talking over time.
During the campaigns, there was something we kept telling people, like we kept using the idea of David, the illustration of David with Pastor Omena. Why were we doing that? Because David was in the wilderness. He understood the challenges that the sheep went through. Now the sheep here can be used as a people. Are you getting me? He understood the challenges, the dangers they were confronted with every day. The bears, the lions, and how he fought them even in the private sector. Now coming in as the governor of Akwa Ibom State, he is not a new person to these challenges. That was why David looked at Goliath. Why people were seeing Goliath as an insurmountable enemy. David looked at Goliath like one of those lions and bear he had slew, that he ran after and slew when one of them took the sheep. So now people with physically challenged people, that is a challenge for them. That physically challenge is a Goliath for them that has hampered a lot of them from attending their potentials. These are people with enormous potentials if you give them the enabling environment to work, as far as I'm concerned. So what Pastor Omena is doing, that having been in the wilderness, having seen these challenges, having combated them as a private individual, now being at the helm of affair, it is on this pedestal that is going to challenge it the more and make sure it is taken care of. So it is not a new man we are seeing. We are seeing the old man in a new office. And I tell people, the office does not make the man. The man makes the office. So that's why you see like things are happening that never happened before, and it's looking like, wow, this is utopic. It's not. It's not utopic. It is just has to do with policy trust, area of interest, where you are looking to Kakata. And I told people, I recall, if not on this platform, I told people that Pastor Omena is coming to take care of human capacity development, basically, because it is the people that runs the economy, and you must take care of the people sufficiently for the people to be able to be productive enough to run the economy. So but people with physically challenged disabilities are an integral part of the economy. So you must take care of them. It did not only stop there. Even with students living with physical disability, he has committed a 100 million naira trust fund. Students living with physical disabilities, something that has never happened. So this is, somebody was asking me, why has he not hit the ground running? And I asked the person, sir, what is governance? And the person ran away. So that is why sometimes you need to allow people to ask you questions so that you can correct their perception about what they have been fed. You understand? So this is it. This is governance. I recall, and I'm going to say, for fear of not sounding like a broken record, this man said he was going to demystify governance. And demystifying governance is taking governance to the grassroots, where you and I will feel it real time.
Okay, finally, it seems even the deputy governor is also on her toes every day. Yesterday she had a session with the Muslim community and so on and so forth. Are you saying that this is a marriage made in heaven?
This is what I wish the tapes of me on this platform will be brought back. I said this is the best team that we are yet to have, and it is obviously out there. When you see the synergy that operates, these are people who work from 7 a.m. officially to 10 p.m. I have been privileged to monitor their working, and so these people don't sleep. That is what I'm telling you now. When you look at the body language of the leader, you don't have any option than to queue. And if you cannot queue, definitely you will be thrown out, because at that particular point you become a chaff.
Okay, but let's round off. Remember, we had a chatter with the people concerning the first 100 days in office. Are you seeing in the right direction?
We can only answer that question with what has been happening. The India Street, when he was campaigning, he went to apparently the market, asked them for their votes, that when he becomes governor, that he's going to make sure that the street is fixed in the 100 days of his office. He did not wait for the 100 days. Less than 30 days after becoming governor, he went back to them, commissioned that place for the contract, asked that the market should be floored, internal roads in the market should be asphalted, amounted to about 200 meters, asked that proper sanitary system should be there, toilets for the people to use, and solar powered light should be installed for proper security and visibility. He doesn't need to wait. He didn't have to wait for 100 days.
And he has also instructed that street markets be removed.
Yes, the street, because
we have to time is you know that since you're always regular.
Once you begin to talk about the Umona administration, it's an administration that I'm passionate about. Yes.
Well, let's leave it for today. Next week, Thursday, that will be July. That will be in July. That should be about 4th of July. We'll return, and then I'm sure we will have ample time to look at the Arise agenda. Patrick Edeke, thank you very much for coming.
Always a pleasure.
Okay, so I have to call the shot at this point and also draw the curtains. Okun David is our producer. Linus, thank you very much. Bright Solution, Ben in the audio and video space. Cameraman. My name is ID James. See you on the flip side.
You have the right to quality broadcasting. The National Broadcasting Commission says any person, group of persons, or organization aggrieved by the content of a broadcast or the conduct of a broadcast station may lodge a complaint to the station and or write to the Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, number 20, Ibrahim Taiwo Street, Asokoro, Abuja, or send a mail via info@nbc.gov.ng. Please ensure that your complaint includes name of the broadcast station, title of the program, date and time of broadcast, and essence of the complaint. Also remember to include your name, address, telephone number, email, and append your signature. Note that your complaint must reach the NBC within 14 days of the queried broadcast. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting.
This is where we belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's only matter, you know. Because stand together, we gon' make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we be. It's only matter, you know.
Thank God you didn't miss your flight.
Thank God.
Yeah.
This is a nice city.
It's a very beautiful city. By the way, what's your major?
What?
Oh, what are you studying in the university?
Oh, no.
That's very good.
So what university do you have around? Houston University. Oh, yeah. UH, yeah.
That's a very good school.
This is your new home, and this is Dr. Mrs. Shirley. This is your new mother in America.
John, how are you?
How was it? It was very good.
Come in. I've been expecting you. No,
All right.
How was it? Happy season. Oh, John.
Hi, John. Oh, it's nice meeting you. Is everything okay?
Fine.
But you need to take your shower now. Then we'll dinner. Okay?
You know tomorrow we're going to see scholarship for tomorrow. I'm so excited.
Very important. From here we go to the registration. Okay?
Thank you. Oh, congratulations again.
Thank you, sir.
Well, did you like to
Actually, I have checklist and here. You're gonna go online to study registration. You can start somewhere. It's not full. That's good. So you can do the registration and something like that.
Do you have any questions for me?
How do you mean we are not going to that church?
They are so rude, so mean, so disrespectful. Especially that woman, Miss Lillian, or whatever she calls herself.
Honey, come on. Calm down. Tell me what happened.
You cannot believe they removed my son from being one of the group supervisors on the trip.
And why?
They said until he explains how it came about some nude pictures they discovered on his iPad. And I told them bluntly they cannot remove him from the team just because of some unsubstantiated accusation.
Honey, listen. If these allegations are true, we really need to talk to our son.
No, I have made up my mind. I will look for another vacation place for my son. I will no longer go to that church if that is how a vacation committee has become. And how can they for punishing an innocent child for no tangible reason?
Honey, listen. We need to exercise a lot of patience and have Bernard confess to what happened, so that we may be able to...
Please don't give me that nonsense. I know you will support them, but I've made up my mind to leave that church. If you want to continue with them, that's fine. I will no longer go to that church. As for me and my son, we are not going to that church anymore.
No, honey, you don't want to do that.
I just did. Bye. Please. Are they the only ones that can? Please. Don't continue like that. Is that the only vacation place that we have to go to?
What figures do you have?
Oh, we're looking at like 3.9 million dollars for total.
For total?
Yes.
Oh, that's